Hi everyone and welcome to my channel, and this video, which is my second 9th age battle report. Once again it is against Michelle and his Skavens, and this time we managed to finish the game. It's a 2.5 game, and this time I brought my Dark Elves instead of my Warriors. The armies can be seen in detail in the description, and his army is exactly the same as in the last battle report. So this time, as well as the last time, I got to choose the side, and because I'm lazy I chose the one closest to the chair I was sitting in. The smart choice had been to take the other side and don't let him have the side with the hill in the deployment zone. My thinking with the deployment was that I had a very fast army and a flexible one, so when I got the opportunity to take the first turn, I took it, and my plan was that the vanguarding and scouting units would make up for being out deployed. Since I didn't have my Armylist at hand at the start of the game, I forgot that my Sorceress had a Pathmaster item, and I instead of choosing roll Turn to Smoke, Unseen Lurker and the Withering, and Mind Racer too. For his Greyseer he rolled the Death Frenzy, Flame Spout, Abyssal Chasm, and some more spell that I've forgotten. I also don't remember what his Plauge Priest got in this game, but I know that the Engineer got Warp Lightning and Shock Blades. So the deployment looked like this. From the left we have a Hydra, then my crossbows together with all my characters. Next are my Executioners, and then all my Dark Rider units in a neat row. Alone on the right we have my Warlocks. From his left we have weapon teams, 2 mortars and a rattling gun. Then we have the Seer bunker, Storm Vermin with BSB and the General on Palanquin too. And then another weapon teams unit with the same setup as the last one. In the middle of his deploy we see a Catapult, Monks with a Plauge Priest, Clanrats with an Engineer, the cannon on the hill, and on his left flank we have the Doom Wheel. So in the vanguard I move up all my Dark Riders a bit and place my before the game begins I place my shades behind enemy lines to the left, to my left that is. My initial plan was to kill off the war machines and the weapon teams as fast as possible and hope that I have enough executioners left to deal with his blocks. In this game the terrain is scattered in a strange line, and I thought it important to get the first turn to be able to control the charges from the hill and so on. The terrain also made my crossbows a bit redundant, so I decided to try and use them as regular swordsmen, which they with their shields are pretty good at too, with the new parry rule. On my turn 1 I move everything up, and some of my Dark Riders, as you see, lays down to rest on the hill. In the shooting phase I shoot up off parts of the weapon teams, and my Warlocks before that managed to get off a Doom Bolt on the gut runners behind the house, and it kills every last one of them, so to a good start there. I also get through the minus in strength spell on the Storm Vermin, and that to make him think twice about charging my Dark Riders that are resting on the hill. I use the attribute move, the Steed of Shadows, or what it is called, on my general to move him to the right side of the hill. In the Skaven turn 1 there is not much movement, only the wheel moves up on my right. Flamespout kills 1 executioner, and his shooting kills 4 of the Dark Riders on the hill, but the last one passes his panic. 1 shade dice, and he also, with his cannon, he puts 3 wounds on the Hydra, and Catapult lose 1 wound due to misfire. In hindsight, I don't think he should have been able to shoot at my Hydra because of the new height system, but well, we have to live with it for this game at least, and there will probably be a transition period before we're familiar with all the new rules. When I come to think about it, we didn't use the new canon rules either, so that's 2 new rules we've missed. In my turn 2, the leftmost Dark Riders charge the weapon team, and my hope is that they will overrun into the Clanrats, and thus preventing them from dual charging to get with the Storm Vermin. The Hydra sneaks up on the left, while the Shades go after the last weapon teams, or perhaps the Catapult. The Executioners take a position on the hill and faces the Storm Vermin. On my crossbows, I decide to use the icon of Restless something, just to get the Cauldron in position for a charge on the Plauge Monks. My right Dark Rider sees the opportunity to go for the Catapult and still be out of sight from the Storm Vermin and the Monks, so that's where I place them. The Warlocks hangs back, reformed and ready to squeeze between the impossible terrain and the building, if necessary. In the magic phase, I cast Withering on the Monks and used the attribute to move the Sorceress over to the Executioner unit. My opponent then decides to scroll Soul Blight on the Storm Vermin, and my shooting kills off the last of the weapon team unit on the right. In combat, it goes as predicted. My Dark Riders destroy the left weapon team unit and then overruns into the flank of the Seer unit. So, Skaven turn 2. He tries to charge my Executioners with his Storm Vermin, but rolls Snake Eyes for the charge distance, so they stay pretty much in place. The Doom Wheel moves against the Warlocks, and everything else stays where they are. In the magic phase, the Seer cast Abyssal Chasm and killed 3 Executioners and 3 Crossbows. He also gets Death Frenzy off on his own unit, so it's gonna be a bit harder for my Dark Riders there. The Doom Wheel shoots down 2 of my Warlocks, and the Catapult manages to kill 5 Crossbows. But no panics so far. In combat, the Dark Riders lose 1 and kills some back, or the other way around maybe. Kills some and loses 1 back. But they lose by 1 due to the Clanrats having a musician. So they flee and are run down. And the Dark Riders breaking also means that my Shades panic off the board. This was a bit of a surprise, but the objective to lock up the Clanrats still succeeded, and since the Storm Vermin failed the charge, my opponent was left with a hard choice: to pursue and scrape up some points and then most likely be annihilated by the Executioners, or leave the Dark Riders and maybe hold off the Executioners for a turn before being broken. So, off to my turn 3. The start of my turn 3 felt very good. I knew I had the Seer in the bag and
Now with only his cannon left of the war machines, I felt I had the game in a firm grip. The Hydra and Executioners made the charge on the Seer unit. My Lord, together with the Cauldron, charged the Monks, as I felt that they could safely grind away there for a while. The Dark Riders charged the Catapult and the Crossbows and Warlocks positions against the wheel. The lone Dark Rider then gets sacrificed to stop the Storm Vermin from flanking me in my opponent's next turn. My magic sees Soulblight go through and on the wheel, but since I don't get Doombolt off, it doesn't matter. Executioners and the Hydra obliterates the Seer unit, and the Seer unit runs off the board with the Hydra at their heels as the Executioners reforms against the Storm Vermin. In the Monk fight, my Lord kills the Plauge Priest in a challenge, and some monks die due to the Cauldron. So, Skaven turn 3. Storm Vermin charges and kills the lone Dark Rider and reforms against the Executioners. There is no magic, and the Warp Lightning Cannon hits the Hydra a third time in a row, but fails to wound it. In combat, some more monks die, but nothing changes anyway. So quickly over to Dark Elf turn 4. My Executioners charge the Storm Vermin, the Dark Riders charge the cannon, the Warlocks charge the wheel, and the Crossbows fails their charge on the wheel. In my magic phase, nothing goes through, so nothing happens. In combat then, the Warlocks do 3 wounds and to the wheel and lose 2 Warlocks back, but the wheel holds anyway. The combat between the Executioners and the Storm Vermin sees a big bunch of Storm Vermin dead and a few Executioners. His Lord also takes a wound, and since the killing blow isn't what it used to be, he survives and only takes 1 wound. The Warp Lightning Cannon gets killed by the Dark Riders. So Skaven turn 4. Not much going on since there are not many units left. But the Warp Lightning... the Engineer gets Warp Lightning off on the Hydra, and that spells the end for the Hydra. The combat grinds away, and few models gone, but nothing is changed. So Dark Elf turn 5. No, wait a minute. I think the Warlocks kills the Doom Wheel in this turn, in Skaven turn 4 too. So now to Dark Elf turn 5. I move up with what I can for perhaps a last turn reinforcement. I get Soulblight off on the Storm Vermin and Mind Racer on the Cauldron. So in combat, the monks get beaten and run down by the Frenzied Cauldron, which now is in a delicate position against the Clanrats, which have a nice flank charge. And between the Storm Vermin and Executioners, there's some more models gone, but nothing has changed. Skaven turn 5. The Clanrats with the Engineer charge the Cauldron in the flank. And over to combat, I kill his Lord in the Storm Vermin block, but the Storm Vermin still holds. The Cauldron gets beaten, but managed to hold on a 7 rerollable. But without Mind Razor up, it would probably have been the end of my Cauldron. Here my opponent decides to call it a day, since the board clearly belongs to the Dark Elves, with only one block and a few Storm Vermin left, and barely nothing of significance lost to the Elves. So my thoughts from this game are, first off, that I really enjoy the 9th Age, and I hope that it will grow and thrive, so I get the opportunity to continue playing at tournaments and stuff like that, and participate in a living community. The only downside so far is that the attack armies lack much of their old flair, which hopefully will be rectified in November. Of the game, I think my opponent's static playstyle gave me a bit too much freedom to control the board, and had his lord not also fluffed so badly against the executioners, that combat might have been a bit less one-sided. But I'm satisfied with the game. Obviously, couldn't gone much better. But thanks for watching, and hopefully there will be more videos.